All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Tuesday, tasty Tuneage Tuesday. Hope you're doing well today. We're having fun this week in the cave. Like I said, next week is the 2-year anniversary, and we're doing favorite albums week. Yesterday's just hitting it off with Dire Straits. And at the end of the week, when I finish this up, I'll give you guys a chance to post your top 5 or top 10 albums of all time, see what you come up with. It's harder than you think, but because you have more choices than you're limited to. But I did want to mention one thing about Dire Straits that I learned. I was reading about Money for Nothing, and they were talking about the placement of the microphones, where he wanted to put them for his guitar, and he said he was looking for that ZZ Top sound. And it was by total mistake where the microphones were left the night before, and then that's the intro is where they just left them there, and that's what came out so perfect. But I started thinking about that opening guitar riff, and I'm like, yeah, that is totally like ZZ Top. Never occurred to me before, ever. Think about that. Just when I'm trying to think if it's like what song I'm thinking of for ZZ Top. Maybe it's like Velcro Fly or something. I don't know what it is. Something. But anyway, ZZ Top. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I thought that was awesome. But anyway, what are we talking about today? We're going back to June 1979, one of my all-time favorite records, and we're talking about the Cars, Candy-O. Yes, Candy-O. This record's so good, so good. And it's good because we just did the debut of the Cars, so it's perfect because this is their sophomore effort. And sophomore slump? What do you think? If you were going to say, hey, how did Candy-O do in compared to the debut? I think most people would say they love the first one better. I always think this record, Candy-O, is just didn't get the attention that it deserves, and it's a much better record than people actually think. And I was obsessed with this record. Not when it came out. I didn't get obsessed with it until like 1985. I didn't hear it till much later. Anyway, this record, like I said, is just awesome. But let's talk about this cover again. That's a Vargas on the cover, that famous artist who did Esquire and Playboy pinup illustrations from the 40s through the 60s. The drummer came up with an idea and said, hey, let's track him down, let's have him do this cover. And he was 83 years old, retired, and they asked him, he didn't know what to do. He talked to his niece, and his niece is a fan of the Cars and says, yeah, you got to do that. And so he did, and they went to a Ferrari dealership, and they had this Ferrari 365 GTC4, and that's where the model was posing, and her name was Candy Moore. Real story, her name was Candy. Total coincidence. That was based on the GTC4. There were only 505 made between 1971 and 72, based on the GTB4 Ferrari Daytona. The Daytona being the one that Sonny Crockett drove in Miami Vice, as opposed to the Ferrari that Ferris Bueller was famous for having. This one, the California. It's unbelievable. Anyway, that's the story of that car. Anyway, that's her on that car. She's also the model on Rick James' Street Songs album cover and one of his singles. And not to be confused, the internet's very confused, not to be confused with Candy Moore of The Lucy Show. The Candy Moore in The Lucy Show did not pose for Vargas pinup pictures. Just saying. Now you can just fix that wherever it is on the internet. You're welcome. What do we say about this record? 3 singles. It outperformed the debut in that it went to number 3, and the debut only went to number 18. But that's probably just the wave of fans who just bought it, right? They just bought it outright. Oh, Cars' new album, buying it. All the merits of the first one, I'm guessing. Right? I'm guessing, because there's only 3 singles off this one, and one of them didn't chart. We'll get to that. But I think this is an awesome record, and I can't keep saying it enough. I love this record, so let's get into the songs. First song, Let's Go, went to number 14. Awesome radio play. I mean, that's a great song, right? Since I Held You, I love every single song on this record. Since I Held You, love it. It's All I Can Do, number 41, love it. Double Life almost didn't make it on the record. They were almost going to get rid of it, and they left it on, but it almost didn't make it. And that one was the 3rd single, and that one did not chart. Didn't chart. Shooby-Doo. I even like Shooby-Doo. Weird song with the echoes and the noise and all that stuff. It's really bizarre. It's really weird, but I have a thing for Shooby-Doo. How was Candy-O not a single? Candy-O was not a single. Should have been a single, should have been a hit. I mean, it was a radio hit. They played on the radio all the time, right? Wasn't released as a single. Night Spots. Night Spots was the only song left over from the original album's songs that didn't make it on the original album, and that one, like I say, I got a lot of love for all these songs. You Can't Hold On Too Long, Lust for Kicks. Yes, awesome. I love that there's just weird noises. They got like cowbells in here. They're doing fun stuff with the synthesizers. I don't know. I dig this record a lot. Got a lot on my head. That's kind of a catchy tune too. And then finally, Dangerous Type. How is Dangerous Type not a single? They play that one to this day. And I'm like, I swear he's saying Geranium Lover. Every time I would hear it, I'd be like, is he saying Geranium Lover? I think he's saying Geranium Lover. And of course I look up the lyrics. And yeah, he's saying Geranium Lover. No one knows what that means. And that's just a phrase I use randomly now in sentences. You know, I just say Geranium Lover. You know, I don't know. But this song, this record, like I said, so good. And when I first heard it, the whole thing, I was hearing the singles, but I got the record probably around 1985, like I said, and 1986, and I was just driving around in my mom's Mustang, playing this cassette, just over and over and over again, driving around at night, cruising, doing my thing, and it's just, again, I don't know. You guys like this record? I know some of you like this record, but if you haven't played this whole record, that's your assignment. Play the whole thing, beginning to the end, a few times, and tell me what you think. Like, I want someone to do that if they don't know this record at all. But this is so good, and I love that I got to do the Cars this week in the Rock Cave under favorite albums. We got more coming your way. I'm excited. Tomorrow, Wanderlust Wednesday, we're going to do something a little different, but we'll get to that. Anyway, enjoy the Cars Candy-O today. Tell me what you think. I love your comments below. I hope whatever you're doing today involves music. Looking forward to the rest of the week. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.